Hi everyone, in this video we're going to go over how to add images to your web page. The internet would be pretty boring if it was just only text. Luckily we have images, animated GIFs of cats, and videos. But today we'll just focus on images and animated GIFs. Let's get started. I have my website folder here and it has the index.html with my Hello World web page. And in this tutorial, we're going to add three types of images. The JPEG, which is common, GIFs, this is an animated GIF, and a PNG, or also pronounced as ping. There are other types of images such as SVGs and other things you can add, such as videos, MP4, but today we'll just focus on images. I'm going to open up my HTML in Notepad++, and as you can see, we have just a title and a hello world in the body. Let's see what the page looks like right now. Okay, so I want to add an image right below hello world, and to do that I'm going to first add a line break with the BR tag, and then to add an image we use the IMG tag, and that looks like this: the opening bracket IMG, and in order to specify the image you want to show, it'll be under the source or SRC attribute. SRC equals and the name of the image here. Usually it'll be a path, so if your image is in another folder, the folder name will be in your path, but in this case, because the image is in the same location as my HTML file, I just need to specify the file name itself. So let's say I'm going to add the JPEG first. And the image tag is self-closing, so we don't need a separate closing tag. So we just end it with a / and closing bracket. And if you're not familiar with the structure of HTML in general, or why I'm closing it like this, visit the anatomy of HTML video that we have recorded earlier, and that'll walk you through what these are and what the there's also a video about the BR tag adding line breaks to the page. Okay, I'm just gonna save this and refresh this page, and as you can see, now we have an image right below hello world, and it's a big image. Okay, before we go into resizing this to make this picture look better, I'm first going to add the other images just to show you what it looks like. So now instead of the JPEG, I'm just going to add the PNG. JPEGs, PNG, GIFs are just different types of images that the browser understands. Save this, refresh, and here is our PNG. I think I know why it's so big. It's because I'm zoomed in. Let me go back to 100%. There we go. Now it's not as bad. And as you can see, we have our corgi picture. By the way, corgi is my favorite dog. I have a corgi myself. I love corgis. Okay, so that's the ping. Now I'm going to add the GIF. Save that, refresh, and this GIF is a little different because it's an animated GIF. There are two types of GIFs. There's the animated GIFs and there's the static GIFs. That's just a regular image that doesn't animate. This is the animated GIF. Okay, now that we see how to add the image to the page, let's see what else we can do with the image tag. I'm going to go back to the JPEG. Save, refresh. And let's say this picture is too big for my taste. I want it a little smaller. In that case, the image tag has the width and the height attribute that you could specify. So let's say I want the height to be, I don't know, 50. 50 represents pixels. So it's always pixels. Pixels is the measurement of a unit in your monitor. Usually, there's roughly about 72 to 90 pixels in an inch. So you can use it as a guide, but it does vary depending on what type of monitor you have and what the resolution of your monitor is. But remember that for this image tag, if you use height and width, it'll always be in pixels. Okay, so I'm going to say height 50 and width, let's say 25. No, let's say 10, just to see what that looks like. And I'm going to save it, refresh. Oh, okay, that looks terrible. As you can see, 50 for the height and width for a 10 doesn't look very good. It's actually too small. So I'm going to go back and change the width to 100, and let's see what that does. Okay, a little better, but if you look real closely, it's distorted. That's because I'm specifying the height and width outside of the normal ratio of this image. And one way to fix that is to only specify either the height or the width. And if you do that, it'll automatically resize the dimension you don't specify. So for example, if I want the height to be 100 and I don't specify the width, it'll automatically specify the width according to the ratio, and it doesn't look distorted. I think it still looks a little too small, so I'm going to go 200 pixels. Okay, that looks pretty good, and I'm happy with that. The other thing you can do with the image tag is add a border to the image. So let's say I want a border of 1 pixel, and specifying 1 gives you a good idea of how thick a pixel is on your computer. So if I go ahead and save this, you'll see a black border of 1 pixel around the image. And as you can see, it's pretty thin. A pixel is pretty small. If I wanted a thicker border, I can just say, let's make it 5 pixels. And there you go. I like that. Looks better. Okay, so that's adding an image of a file, or I'm sorry, a file image that you have in the same directory as your web page. What if I wanted to add an image from the internet? I could either go to that image on the internet, download it to my local computer, and then add it that way, or I can link to it directly using an absolute URL. So let's do that. I'm just going to go to the internet, search for corgi. Let's see, go to images, and I like this one. So if I right click on it and say copy link address, that'll give me the absolute path or absolute URL to this image. And I can go back here and paste it. And as you can see, it's an absolute URL because it starts with HTTP. If you're unfamiliar with paths, absolute and relative, please go back and view my other video on understanding HTML paths. Okay, I'm gonna save this and refresh. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't show up. Sometimes websites disable the ability for people to link to their resources, such as images, from other sites. This is a way for them to save on traffic and not have to use up money to serve up resources that they aren't using themselves. So let's see if we can find another picture. How about this one? Let me just get rid of the border and height for now. Okay, it's another broken one. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more try and hopefully it'll work. Okay, let's try this one. It's another dog time image, but let's see if it works. It didn't work. Okay, so I just paused the recording to look for a picture that I know will work. So let's try this one more time just to show you that I'm not crazy. Okay, so this is from dogtime.com also. Okay, great. So here we are pointing to an image that is not hosted on our website, but pointed to another website. So you can do this for any image on the internet. If you right click on it and go to copy image address or copy image location, then you can paste it into your image tag directly. The last thing I wanted to show you is how to turn an image into a link, a clickable link. And to do that, all you would need to do is surround your image tag with the anchor tag. So that's the opening bracket, A for anchor, and then href is the location you want the link to go to. If you are unfamiliar with the anchor tag, I do have another video explaining it. So go ahead and watch that first. Here I'm just gonna go to, let's say, google.com. And then at the end, we close the anchor tag. Save it and refresh. So now when I put my mouse over the image, you can see that my cursor is a hand, and that indicates that it's clickable. And you can also see the address on the bottom of the browser saying it's going to go to www.google.com. Now when I click on it, it does in fact take me to Google. And that's it for the image tag. It's a great way to add personality and interest to your webpage. Way better than just having text, for sure. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have comments or questions or have suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment below. And also please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, keep coding.